Hello, this is Geralyn St. Joseph. I just want to let you guys know that we're going to be doing the Soul of Tarot once again. It will be a live class via Zoom so that anyone can participate. This is a paid class, and I will put the link below as soon as I get that page ready. Okay? So, today's card is the Nine of Swords. This is utilizing the Rider-Waite deck, which is the deck I most love to teach with. It's the easiest because it has the most amount of symbolism in it. It's very direct, I think, anyway. So, Nine of Swords. What does that look like to you? Looks like how everybody is feeling right now. What's happening is there's a great deal of angst and anxiety. There's fear. People are imagining the worst of the worst, and in some cases, that's actually happening. What this tells us about that, though, is that for the most part, all these different stressors that you have, a lot of it is in your head, and you're making things bigger than they need to be, which is easy to do. I mean, right now, there are a lot of things to be concerned with. There are a lot of things that are just going crazy that we don't understand. But what we need to remember is that we exist in this space. We control only so much of this space. So if we want this space to be peaceful, we have to make it so. If we want this space to be profitable, we have to make it so. What this card is telling us is that regardless of what's happening around you, it's inside yourself that is the most important. We get several different messages through this. If we're reading for a client and this card comes up, we see that the client is probably either high in anxiety or having nightmares of some kind. If they're not right now, they will pretty soon. Because what's happening is that all the pressure of everything around them is coming down on them. It's all really weighing very heavily on their shoulders. We don't have to accept all this weight, however. And if it's a client you're reading for, they don't need to accept all this weight. Are there things going on at work? Yes. Is COVID still a thing? Yes. Are things happening worldwide? Yes. What can we do about all those things? We need to chunk things down into small enough pieces that we can then deal with it. What does that look like? What that looks like is, instead of being freaked out about what's happening halfway around the world, look at your world. What is around you? What can you do to help people that are connected to you or close by? I'm not saying to be oblivious to what's happening. I'm not saying not to help in any way that you can. What I'm saying is that we become overwhelmed because there is so much going on around us that we don't have any control over. That makes us feel totally out of control. But when we actually look at our lives and we look at what's around us, that's not really true. We do have control over things. We have control over the way we're thinking about things, the way we're looking at things, how much we're allowing things to upset us. So if instead of focusing on all the things we're afraid of and all the things that could possibly go wrong, or maybe that even are going wrong, if we focus on, okay, what can I do? How can I make things better? How can I make myself feel better? And no, drugs and alcohol are not a good way to deal with that. 9 out of 10, it makes things worse. I'm not saying that it always makes things worse, but generally speaking, it tends to make things worse. So you want to deal with things through meditation, dance, music, talking things out with someone that you love and trust, learning how to calm your body down physically. Because when we are in an anxious state and we're feeding that energy with our thoughts, all that does is spiral, and it gets bigger and bigger, and it doesn't need to be. Because the truth of the matter is, we can deal with what's in front of us. We're physical beings right now, and as physical beings, We have limits. We have certain boundaries, certain spaces that we can do something with and others that we can't. We can't worry about things that we cannot control because worry is a wasted emotion. All it does is expend energy that we're not going to get back. And it's not helpful. So if this is your card and you're having nightmares and you can't sleep because your mind's going a mile a minute and you're having panic attacks, what that card is trying to tell you is that you need to slow down, relax, and look into yourself to figure out what steps will you take. What can you do? Can you listen to a friend who's anxious? Can you teach somebody about the meaning of something? Can you do a card pull for somebody to help them feel a little bit better? What is it that you can do? Instead of focusing on all the things that are out of your control, take a look at what is in your control. And even if you're younger and you're living with your parents and you don't have a whole lot of control over your finances and different things like that, you can control your breathing. You can control your thought process. You can control your focus. Another thing that I've been getting very, very clearly for the last several weeks is that it is time to choose you. That we as individuals are coming together to nurture and empower ourselves, our souls. That we, the people who are the ones who are always doing the running around and saving everybody else and doing most of the work, it's our time to go inward and repair, revise, rebirth. What is it that you're bringing to the world? We all bring something, and you just might not be seeing it. The only way to truly see it is to take a breath and step back. Allow yourself the space and the time to be able to recognize. Take a deep breath and release it slowly. When we breathe deeply and we hold it for a second and then we breathe out very slowly, we're letting our bodies know it's okay to relax. We're in a safe space. And isn't that where we all need to be right now? So as you go through your day, whenever it is that you see this, just remember that there are things that you can control and that there are ways for you to deal with even the biggest of issues. And it's one piece at a time. Nine of Swords. Swords talk about thoughts. It talks about using logic. It talks about being present. It's air. We choose what we do with our fear. We can either take that energy and utilize it to create something good, or we can take that energy and allow it to burrow through us and keep us down. It's up to you. It's not always easy, and that's okay. It's all right to have challenges. That's what makes you strong. But remember, even though 9 is the completion of a cycle, it's not the end of the world. Okay? Take your lessons and move forward. If you have any other comments, questions, or want to know more about the tarot, put it below. Contact me directly or go to my website. I look forward to having you in my class. Solo Tarot will begin in September. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Mahalo.